Starting in the name of Allah, the most merciful, mighty and gracious to all. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and welcome to the class of Human Resource Management. Today we are going to discuss the next concern, the next topic in the human resource management, and that topic, according to your course outline, it is known as HR and disciplinary issues. Now our topic is discipline and employee rights. Now first of all, let me explain the theme of the topic, that what we are going to discuss in this topic. In this topic we will discuss that what are the disciplinary issues and how the human resource management, or being as an HR manager, the person, the manager there has to follow or manage those disciplinary issues. Now before starting the disciplinary issues, let me first explain the concept of discipline. That what is discipline? Everybody knows what is discipline. Discipline, simply stated, a general definition, that it is the combination of rules and regulations, or organization having some standards. When people, employees, they are acting according to those standards, simply say, we can say that is a discipline. Or act according to the guidelines is simply known as a discipline. Now how the book define discipline? Discipline is a system of rules, of conducts, actions, or methods of practice, or the trait of being well behaved. Simply stated, a system of rules of conduct, mean that is a system, it's a series of conduct, actions of the people, or methods of the practices well behavedly performed by the employees inside a system, inside a social unit, inside a organization. Now this definition is further explained in a very simple words, and here it is: a condition, a situation where employees conduct themselves in accordance with the organization's rules and standards of acceptable behavior. Standards are even the action of the people, the behaviors of the people, those acceptable behaviors which are definitely accepted by the organization or society. These are simply known as standards, or in other words we can simply say standards are the values. So when the actions of the employees or people, they are with according to the values of the organization, so simply stated we can say that is discipline. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. Now for the most part, employees discipline themselves by conforming to what is considered proper behavior, because they believe it is the reasonable thing to do. Now once they are made aware of what is expected from them, and assuming they find these standards or rules to be reasonable, they seek to meet those expectations. But unfortunately, not all employees will accept the responsibility of self-discipline. There are some employees as well in the organization, in the social unit, who don't accept the norms of responsible employee behavior. Now these employees then need or require some degree of extrinsic disciplinary actions, and these require some factors which are known as the disciplinary issues or the disciplinary factors. Now when to move toward the discipline further, we must have to study the discipline and clear its factors, or simply stated we can say factors, variables to consider when disciplining. Like for example, when HR is dealing with a discipline issue, or HR is, let's suppose, confronting with the disciplinary issues of employees, so before taking any action, HR manager must to study some factors before making a disciplinary issue. What are these factors? These factors are seriousness of the problem, duration of the problem, frequency and nature of the problem, extenuating factors of the problem, degree of socialization, history of organization's discipline, and management backing. Now let me explain one by one in detail. Number one, we are going to study that the seriousness of the problem. Up now, what is this? Seriousness of the problem simply means how severe is the problem. As noted previously, that dishonesty is usually considered a more serious infraction than reporting to work 20 minutes late. मतलब, first of all, चिकला हम HR disciplinary issues regarding to employees so decision आखली. Now before making a decision, आगा पर 2 points माने must focus होगी. First, and then he has to take a decision. A decision से की देशी ब्यामा की मुंगो गुरु. First of all, HR चे seriousness of the problem माने सोचोगी. चे आया your problem चे कम अकर शवे दे your disciplinary issue चे शवे दे आगा सूरा serious दे. Like for example, से तक तो है मां. I have dishonesty, one problem, disciplinary issue, and 20 minutes late. Your नफर चेदे अगर dishonest दे, और your नफर चेदे अगर 20 minutes late रसी, उस which nature is more serious? Definitely dishonesty is more serious as compared to 20 minutes late. Is it? So first of all, the seriousness of the disciplinary issue must be glanced. Next, that is duration of the problem. What duration of the problem says? Duration of the problem simply means, have there been any other disciplinary problems in the past, and or how long a time span. This violation doesn't take place in a vacuum. Why? Because a first occurrence is usually viewed different than a third or fourth occurrence or offense. मतलब duration of the problem. आया यो गलती यो disciplinary action चिकम दे आगा first time शवे दे या the fifth time दा लगे गलती कई वली चे हमेशा अवल दल गलती चे दे आगा से शवा दूरा कंसीडर की ना second time चे दोबारा कई ब्या लग कंसीडर की द्रेम से नीचे कई ब्या नोरम कंसीडर की and fifth time it means that is more serious issue now. सही शुला no first time सही शुला and the fifth time देखिए डेढ़ ज़्यादा फर्क थे नो ज़्यादा दा वही second sees HR so good duration of the problem आया सूरा repetitive in nature. Next, frequency and nature of the problem. Gura continuing pattern. By the name it is clear. It is basically the current problem part of an emerging or continuing pattern of disciplinary infraction. We are concerned with not only the duration but also the pattern of the problem as well. Why? Because continual infraction means disciplinary issues, may require a different type of discipline from the applied to isolated instances of misconduct. No that way sigura sura हम च continuously pattern पके राशि no अवोई दे पारा definitely जुर्माना या जरीमा या नुकसान चिकम दे that will be there different as compared to for example another. So duration and frequency da yo balsara related. Next is extenuating factors. Kura extenuating factors से तो वही extenuating mean justifiable factors. दासे factors दासे reason चेतासो मतलब तासो mean I'm talking about employee justify correlation. Those reasons, the valid reasons which clear the employee is able to justify. The justifiable reasons are known as extenuating factors. Like for example, your employee the death of a grandfather सही हुआ बहाना कही और बल्कि दे overslept बहाना कही मतलब suppose let me explain an example. Your employee चले दो employees थी Mr. A और Mr. B. Mr. A चिकतम दे without application organization तन नजर आ गए. The reason is just because of the death of the grandfather. Mr. B चिकम दे for example आहा हम organization तन नजर आ गए just because of the overslept in the night. मतलब शपे उदय शवे दे वो सहर without application organization तन नजर आ गए. अब both clear have done a disciplinary issue. लेकिन Mr. A has a proper valid extenuating justifiable reason because clear he had a death of grandfather मतलब कुरा अकेले दाग यो reason जुड़ी देशी लेकिन का Mr. B दा हुई चे सर्जी जो टोला शपा वीख पाते मना ज़क नदर आ गए no means overslept चिकम दे reason चिकम दे अगर दोरा कवि नदा valid नदा. So that is known as the extenuating factors. In those reasons the valid reason which can be justifiable. Next thing is degree of socialization. What is degree of socialization? Degree of socialization simply means to what extent has management or the HR department made an earlier effort to educate the person causing the problem about the existing rules and procedures and the consequences of violation. So discipline severity must reflect the degree of knowledge that the violator holds of the organization standards of acceptable behavior. Simply stated, that's the way. Degree of socialization. Degree of socialization simply means چې آیا یو organization خپل کسان تر څو حده پورې socialize کړي دي، مطلب څو حده پورې educate کړي دي. Now let me explain an example. Suppose I am a fresh candidate and getting a fresh entry into the salam. زه بالکل یو نوی کس یم او سلام ته فرست ټایم راغلی یم. صحیح شوه؟ اوس فار ایگزامپل HR ډپارټمنټ کې چې دی هغه زما سوشلایزیشن نه کوي. سوشلایزیشن مطلب زما اورینټیشن نه کوي. Socialization orientation simply means introduction of the new employee with the system and system to the new employee. No, HR department zama proper orientation na kai mata da na wai چې ستا رخصتي څوره ده، timing څوره ده، whatever so many things. اوس let's suppose زه چې دی regular نوی راغلی یم، ماته پته نشته چې where I have to mark my attendance. زه به دا دغه attendance به کوم ځای لګوم. صحیح شوه؟ employee چې کوم attendance اوس میاشت پې تېره شوه. اخیره کې چې دی فار ایگزامپل HR چې کله سیلری ایشو کوي، لیټ سپوز 25 یا 20 days سیلری مانا ډیډکټ کی او 10 days سیلری مالا راکی. when I ask the reason چې سر جی why 10 days سیلری مالا ملاو دا او 20 days is not. صحیح شو؟ نو عام ماته وایي چې 20 days تا اټینډنس نه ده لګولي. اب now I have to say to HR that to what extent you have educated me. That education is known as degree of socialization. آیا being as an HR manager کلیس تا ماته سوره education provide کړی ده، زه سوره د socialize کړی یم. How much you have educated me clear that I have to for example mark my attendance here. I didn't know that where I have to mark my attendance. So it means that was the responsibility of the HR management, that they must have to first socialize the people according to the rules and standards. मतलब अगुई तो अवल वाई ना हो कि चुगुरा 10 तासो standards ही का if तासो follow कोई well and good का ना follow कोई, so that under disciplinary issues रहती and then you will be compensated. So that is known as a degree of socialization. दलता में यो concept हम निकल रहे earlier effort to educate the person. Next, history of the organization's disciplines. Up, what does it mean, history of the organization disciplines? Simply stated, how have similarities, infractions been dealt within the past within the department? Within the entire organization, has there been consistency in the application of discipline procedures? Equitable treatment of employees must take into consideration within the unit means I'm talking about department where the infraction occurs, as well as previous disciplinary actions taken in other units department within the organizations. So equity demands consistency against some relevant benchmark. Simply, history of organization discipline practices simply mean past practices of the organization. Suppose زه تاسو ته وایم چې نن organization کې یو employee نه laptop for example مات شي یا خراب شي. organization هغې ته وایي you must have to pay all. ته به مکمل پیسې ورکوي. لیکن پاسٹ کې 2 years پہلا یا 3 years پہلا یا 5 years پہلا چې کله هم employee نه for example دغه کېدو laptop په ماتېدو نو organization به 50-50 compensation کوو. مطلب 50% به organization pay کوي، 50% به for example employee pay کوو. It means that disciplinary actions clear the past practices were different and now the current clear practices are different. So دا وایي چې آیا چې کم هم انفریکشن شوي دي، کم هم وایولیشن شوي دي، نو پاسٹ کې هغوی دپاره organization څه لایحې عمل و او اوس هغې دپاره څه دی. So that is known as history of the organization's discipline practices. The next is management backing. Management backing simply means need data to back up the necessity sufficient evidence. Simply stated, that way if employees decide to take their case to higher level in management, will we have a reasonable evidence to justify our decision or not? Should the employee challenge your disciplinary action or not? It is important that we have the data to back up the necessity and equity of the actions taken and that we feel confident that the management will support our decision. Simply stated, I am management سشوله تاسو challenge کولای شي کې نشي کولای خپل decision. I am management چې کوم for example دغه جوړ کړي دي disciplinary issues یا هغوی چې کوم decision اخیستی دی نو آیا موږ سره دورس دغه شته دی ریزنیبل ویلډ شته دی ویلیډیټي شته ده چې کین وی مینیج اور ناٹ کلیئر اور کین وی فار ایگزامپل چیلنج the management decisions or not. So therefore we require the needed data to back up the necessity or sufficient evidence. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. Now we will move the next slide, and here in this slide we are going to study some disciplinary issues. What are disciplinary issues? Come ki deshi categorically salur di. One is attendance, one is on the job behavior, one is dishonesty, and some outside activities. Simply stated the way lesham che aya yo employee come disciplinary issues ke involve ki deshi. Yeah, what are those disciplinary issues which can be happened within a job? So these categorically these are the four. Us categorically four the now next slide ke one by one guru or the different types guru. What number one, attendance. Attendance first है हाजिरी चोट वायु पहला दीदी किससे से की देशी नंबर वन टायर्डनेस simply mean lateness यो खुदा disciplinary issue की देशी it is also a possibility that employees that they are late in their attendance सही हुआ मतलब चितादी न कही पर time they are not marked the attendance मतलब यो employee दे सही हुआ सहर लस बच्चे पर attendance time दे लेकिन यो कस दे for example मखाम की attendance लगी सहर की न लगी that is lateness clear of the attendance. Next is leaving without permission. देखिए दो concept है leaving without permission यो खुदा था कि यो employee चिकम दे for example he doesn't come to the organization clear or he has a leave without permission or without application यो concept बगैर द रुखसती चिकम दे for example बगैर द application चिकम दे आगा रुखसती की. Second your organization your employee from the organization चरता बाहर जी लेकिन आगा खपल HR management ना let's suppose दगा ना अखली permission ना अखली अब it also comes clear and disciplinary issue sexual or attendance की राशि. Next is unexcused absence. Unexcused absence means बगैर दस बहाना लाड़शी लेकिन संग जमात तब तो हुए चिगोरा your employee दे अगर टूल शपच कम दे अगर वीक पाते दे और सहर की नाराजी कि मैनेजमेंट तपोस की अवई सजी बस असे नेम राखले टूल शपा वीक पाते हो it means that this is a lame excuse. This absence in an unexcused a lame clear excuse absence. सही हुआ hope दूरा टेक्निकल नहीं बड़ी simple concept थी. Next is dishonesty. अब dishonesty किसी से की देशी number one stealing चूर deliberate falsification of employment record मतलब गलत रिकॉर्ड जुड़ावल like suppose संग ची transactions की या देना अलावा let's suppose तासु तो ओया मा चे मास दहा करे रे procurement करे रे सही हुआ procurement में for example I shop something some machinery उस मशीनरी बिल चले 500 जोड़ शवे दे और जो 500 पुजी माने 700 उड़ी कमा is it no that say that is known as a employment record then अलावा नूर की देशी clock punching गोरा clock punching means sexual electronic record मतलब for example I have a clock punching card नो जैसे वो कमा ज़्यादा खपल एम्प्लॉय बल मरगरी कार्ड मरवाला मा ज़च्चे खपल पा 8 बजे राज़मा नो आगे कसम 8 बजे जो क्लॉक पंचिंग हो कमा वो कस चेदे खपल या उस पर इंटरशे वेने रे लेकिन आगे हाजिरी चे कमा दा लेट्स सपोज आगा इंटरशोला हालांकि कस खपल पा कोर ना आते इट मीन दैट इज आल्सो इन अ डिसिप्लिनरी इशू. नेक्स्ट इज कंसीलिंग डिफेक्टिव वर्क. कंसीलिंग डिफेक्टिव वर्क मीन मतलब पकार माने फोकस न कवल या प्रोडक्टिविटी से कम दे आगे माने फोकस न कवल इज इट या फॉर एग्जांपल कार से कम दे आगा तरीके माने ऐसा तरीके माने न कवल दैट इज नोन एज कंसीलिंग डिफेक्टिव वर्क मतलब गलत कार कवल खपल प्रोडक्टिविटी से कम दे या खपल मेहनत न कवल सिंपली स्टेटेड दैट कम्स अंडर द डिसऑनेस्टी डिसिप्लिनरी इश्यूज. नाउ सम आउटसाइड एक्टिविटीज. आउटसाइड एक्टिविटीज की सदराशी आउटसाइड क्रिमिनल एक्टिविटीज मतलब ऑफेंस के इन्वॉल्व यहाँ वर्किंग फॉर द कंपीटिंग फर्म्स सिंपली मीन्स कंपेटिटर दे पारा कार कवल मतलब डिस्क्लोज ऑल यूर रेलिवेंट इंफॉर्मेशन टू यूर कंपेटिटर कंपनी सही हुआ या शेयर ऑल इंपॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन लाइक स्ट्रेटेजिक प्लान्स लाइक प्लानिंग्स सही हुआ लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल इंटरनल पॉलिसीज इंटरनल सीक्रेट्स टू द कंपेटिटर फर्म मतलब ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की कार कोमा सही हुआ जमा चे कम कंपीटिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन दे ज़ागे द टोल द खपल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन स्ट्रेटेजिक प्लान्स चे कम दे या फॉर एग्जांपल मार्केटिंग प्लान्स चे कम दी सही हुआ या सीक्रेट्स चे कम दी फॉर एग्जांपल आखा द टोल होइता शेयर कमा दैट इज नोन एज वर्क for the competing firm. Unauthorized strike activity. Strike mean demonstrations. हड़ताल च वर्त वायु. सही हुआ मुजाहिरे च वर्त वायु. No दास strike च कम authorized नहीं. These are not legal. No हो कि participation कम. सही हुआ. That is also known as the outside activities disciplinary issues. Next, the last, that is on the job behavior. On the job behavior simply means कि अगर behavior च कम employed during the job के. Is it? Those behaviors which most employees done clear on the job. Simply stated, those are known as on the job behaviors. अब book के there are so many, लेकिन मैं दलता सिर्फ few लिख ली just to make your idea clear. Number one, that is malicious destruction of the organization. और malicious destruction simply mean जानबूझ के, पजोरा, पजिद, कसदन, कसदन the organization property मातावल. Suppose, like let's suppose that तास्ता employee LCDs लगवली दी. सही हुआ ट्रेनिंग दे पारा या मैनेजमेंट चले एम्प्लॉइज ट्रेनिंग दे पारा LCDs लगवली दी. अब नाउ व्हाट एम्प्लॉइज आर डूइंग व्हेन दे आर एक्सपेल्ड फ्रॉम द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, दे आर इंटेंशनली डिस्ट्रॉइंग द LCDs ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सही हुआ. दैट इज नोन एज कसदन प्रॉपर्टी मातावल. नेक्स्ट इज ग्रॉस इनसबऑर्डिनेट. मतलब चखपल मैनेजर खपल पियर खपल मशर खबरा न मनल. सही हुआ. डिनाई द ऑर्डर्स ऑफ यूर इनसबऑर्डिनेट या डिनाई द ऑर्डर क्लियर ऑफ यूर बॉस. सिंपली carrying a concealed weapon. मतलब चे असला जान सरा रवस्तल organization था. Like for example, तमंचा वगैरह ते कम दा. Attacking another employee with intent to seriously harm him. मतलब बल चा employee माने वार कवल, गुजार कवल या माने हमला कवल, जख्मी कवल. Drunk on the job. दाखो simple थे. Sexually harassing another employee. मतलब irritating, for example, employee irritating. Simply, when one gender is irritating to another gender, it can be male to male. It can be female to female, it can be male to female and female to male. सही हुआ. That whole it comes under the sexual harassment. Verbally हम की देशी, सही हुआ. Written हम की देशी, देना अलावा spunks वगैरह हम की देशी, whatever. Failure to obey safety rules. सही हुआ. मतलब कम चे safety rules ही आगा न follow कवल. Simply stated. Now let me explain clear with the hand for example. चे संग safety rules न follow कवल. Suppose, let me give an example. कम चेला grids दी. इलेक्ट्रिक ग्रिड्स चे कम दे. लाइक टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ सीमेंट फैक्ट्री. सीमेंट फैक्ट्री चे कम चर त हम सीमेंट जुड़ीगी कना द सीमेंट फैक्ट्री चे कम दे पार बचे खपल दगा जुड़ीगी, दे पार खपल बल बर्क जुड़ीगी. दे हैव देयर ओन इलेक्ट्रिक ग्रिड. सही हुआ. दे कडे ज्यादा ट्रांसफार्मर लगी देरी. तो तासो त पता त चगुरा द कम चे इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड दा. सही हुआ. तो द इलेक्ट्रिक द कम चे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी दा बर्क चे कम दे. इट हैज अ मैग्नेटिक फील्ड. कता सोचत तली दिली चे कम ज्यादा ग्रिड लगी दिली. सही हुआ. दैट एरिया इज टोटली बाउंड. और लिकल शवी चे 5 किलोमीटर पोरे या 5 फॉर एग्जांपल मीटर पोरे कसान चे कम दे दे दन्ना रा नची बिकॉज क्लियर दिस ग्रिड हैज अ मैग्नेटिक फील्ड. दा खपला कसान रकागी. अब दीज आर द सेफ्टी रूल्स. उसका लेट सपोज यो कस द सेफ्टी रूल्स न फॉलो कई. सही हुआ. या द नॉर्म रूल्स की देशी चे व्हेन यू आर फॉर एग्जांपल डीलिंग विद एनी इलेक्ट्रिक सर्किट यू मस्ट हैव टू वियर द आइसोलेटेड ग्लव्स. So when any of the person, these are safety rules, when any of the employee is not obeying these safety rules, definitely he or she comes under the disciplinary issue. And it happens on the job. Next is sleeping on the job. Now common one is simple explanation zarurat nalari. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. Now next we are going to discuss disciplinary guidelines. That what basically disciplinary guidelines are. Now we are going to discuss the disciplinary guidelines. When employees they are performing some disciplinary issues, so now what will be the guidelines, what will be the roadmap, clear disciplinary roadmap from the HR department. HR the manager the tarafana sexual disciplinary guidelines. Number one, HR manager must make disciplinary actions correcto rather than punitivo. उस HR मैनेजर दे पारा दा पकार दे चे आगा चूकी आगा दा एम्प्लॉय चे कम एक्शन जी आगा कोरेक्शन तरफ ता रवाड़ी न कि आगा पनिटेटिव भी. इट मीन्स द मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव, इट सिंपली मीन्स द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ द डिसिप्लिनरी एक्शन इज नॉट टू डील आउट पनिशमेंट. द which the objective is to correct an employee's undesirable behavior, while punishment may be a necessary means to that end, but one should never lose sight for the eventual objectives. नो ज़कदा हुई कि पनिशमेंट खश है दे लेकिन अवल HR डिपार्टमेंट या HR मैनेजर कोशिश उकी कि अगली मेन इंटेंशंस करेक्टिव तरफ तई न कि पनिटेटिव तरफ तई नेक्स्ट इज मेक डिसिप्लिनरी एक्शन प्रोग्रेसिव दैट इज वर्बल वार्निंग्स रिटन वार्निंग सस्पेंशन एंड डिसमिसल मतलब शुरू की सवाली शुरू की कोशिश उकी चे एक्शन चे कम दे अगा प्रोग्रेसिव मीन चे एचर कल हम योर एम्प्लॉय व्हेन एन एम्प्लॉय इज एंगेज्ड इन एनी ऑफ द डिसिप्लिनरी इशू नो HR डिपार्टमेंट चे कम दे अगा प्रोग्रेसिव एक्शंस वाली प्रोग्रेसिव एक्शन सिंपली मीन्स दैट HR डिपार्टमेंट मस्ट स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द वर्बल वार्निंग मतलब ऑरल वार्निंग ब्या चे दे रिटन वार्निंग पेपर वर्क माने यो वार्निंग वर्की का ब्या हम न कीगी सो देन ही मस्ट हैव टू टेक सम एक्शन ईदर कैन सस्पेंशन मीन फॉर टाइम दे पारा चले शॉर्ट टाइम पीरियड दे पारा चले यो कस जॉब ना बिल्कुल उबासी दैट इज नोन एज सस्पेंशन एंड it can be the dismissal means completely lay off termination from the organization of an employee. So progressive action means start with less severe actions and move to the more severe action. Now progressive action simply sit away organizations के HR less severe action start वाली मतलब देर कम सजा न start वाली और रो चे कम दे अगर serious punishment तरफ दा movement होगी that is known as progressive action. Simple status that sometimes organization must follow the hot stop rule. What is hot stop rule? Hot stop rule simply mean immediate response, ample warning, consistency and impersonal. Or simply stated we can say hot stop rule is a discipline should be immediate, provide ample mean more, zyad, warning to be consistent and to be impersonal as well. Now पूरा hot stop, hot मतलब गर्म सही हुआ स्टॉप मतलब तेगना हम वतवयु तबाखे हम वतवयु अगा मतलब लोग है अगा ज़रूफ चिकम माने रोटी पकेगी सही हुआ दैट इज नोन एज तेगना या तबाखे इंग्लिश के वत स्टॉप वही हॉट स्टॉप रूल मतलब दा जे संग तेगना गर्म ही मुंग वरता लास उडू नो एकदम मुंग त पता हो लगी जे तेगना गर्म दा लास मोड़ा लास पते उसुजी इज इट सो दा अंदा कार दा वही जे HR मैनेजर त हॉट स्टॉप रूल पकार दे जे मतलब तरंगे एम्प्लॉय जे गलतियों की नो डायरेक्टली HR डिपार्टमेंट चिकम दे अगा एकदम वरता यो वार्निंग जारी की जगह तब पता हो लगी जो गोरा तेगना गर्म दा माना गलती उशवा HR माना वार्निंग रखई बाय जो फ्यूचर के तो दोबारा दा गलती उनकमा इज इट सो दैट इज नोन एज हॉट स्टॉप रूल सो दल तमाली कलिंदी द स्टॉप मीन फायर बर्नर इज रेड सो बी केयरफुल वार्निंग इज इशूड सो नो चांस ऑफ अनदर वायोलेशन वले चिका अव्वल वार्निंग के एम्प्लॉय चेते अगा फॉर एग्जांपल जान संभाल को सो नेक्स्ट टाइम ही विल बी मोर केयरफुल रिगार्डिंग टू द नेक्स्ट वायोलेशन लेकिन का फॉर एग्जांपल नेक्स्ट टाइम जान न संभालई और नेक्स्ट टाइम वायोलेशन कई so then organization must have to move your HR department must have to move toward the next warning and that will be written warning and after the written warning definitely case will proceed to the committee and then committee will take a decision that can be either suspension or it can be either your dismissal. So therefore HR in the disciplinary guidelines HR must have to take clear or follow the hot stop rule toward the employees. Hope inshallah a bit idea will be clear. Now what will be the actions, disciplinary actions or what will be the disciplinary proper procedure? The verbal warning, matlab oral warning, the written warning, the paper warning, suspension as I told you and it can be the dismissals as well. Now the next thing is employee counseling. What is employee counseling? Wura ase ho counseling chikamde it simply means chala mashwara work simply stated. Is it? Now here we have to explain that what is employee counseling. There are so many definitions of employee counseling. Some of the definitions I have mentioned here and inshallah I shall try my level best to explain. Those are technical concepts. Already you have studied these things. Employee counseling simply means a process whereby employees are guided in overcoming performance problems. Now it is a direction or helpful suggestions regarding a decision or future course of an action. This approach is most appropriate when a performance problem is not amenable to training and development or mentoring and coaching. Now what is basically employee counseling? Employee counseling simply means when employee, let's suppose that's also HR manager there, suppose he is your HR manager, that is also employee, suppose generally. When employee is not performing well in the organization, it means his performance is not up to the mark. So now there is a session between employee and HR manager. This session is basically about the counseling session, and this process is simply known as employee counseling. Why? Where the HR person will ask from the employee that why your performance is not according to the mark. Why? Clear? What are the different problems you are facing regarding to your performance? What are the indicators? So then employee will share all the problems, hindrance to the HR person. Then HR person will provide clear feedback to the employee. This whole process is simply known as your employee counseling. Employee counseling, it is a process whereby employees are guided. Who basically guide? Human resource management. Guided in overcoming performance problems. When performance is not according to the mark, and the HR department is counsel means mashwara workable to employee that how you can overcome your problem, how you can control your problem regarding to performance. Such session is known as employee counseling. Now what happens in employee counseling? Number one, listen to employees to uncover reasons for poor performance. Very simple. Employee counseling के यो हो पहला टोरो ना पहला चले employee performance पर बरके खबर की. As I told you, focus on the performance related behavior. सिर्फ और सिर्फ performance related actions मैंने focus की, not on the personal. चे employee personal से दे पदे मैंने दूरा focus न की, लेकिन आगा कानूना चे कम behavior के लगे problem create की, पदे मैंने definitely focus की. Second, get the employee to accept the problem and work to find solution. Simply stated, right identification of problem is the half solution of the problem. HR person चिकम दे या employee खपला चिकम दे अगर कोशिश करी कि yes performance is not according to the mark, लेकिन आगे वजह से दा they both HR manager and employee both they identify the real problem. Why? Once the real problem is identified, it means 50% of the let's suppose problem is solved. So once the real problem is identified, so then clear both the parties will able to find out the real reasons that how to solve the problem. Managers are not expected to solve employees' personal problems. Simply stated, sometimes employee assistance programs are to be offered. Assistance programs, assistance mean help, guiding. Employee guiding the para chekam de program. Like for example, زوال ما تيجو employee چکم دے آغا دغه نشتا آغا skills نشتا چې within the working condition آغا کارو کی نو then نسو کما then یا خو understudy assignment کې put کما یا coaching کې put کما یا mentoring your session ورته شروع کما چې یو کس چې دے within the job یا for example out of the job چکم دے آغا غلا لګ training ورک کوي. All these comes under your employee assistance program. مطلب دا سی program HR department آغا کس تے پارا formulate کی that where there is a proper help from the HR side to the employee that the employee overcome clear his or her weaknesses during the job. Or simply stated, with the help of these assistance program or with the help of the third party, the person is able to carry his or her performance best in the organization or in the work settings. Now the next thing is using employee communications to enhance employee rights. Employee further help the para organization sit communication coverage. Communication के खुदेर ज़्यादा किसी राशि, लेकिन the first thing is employee handbook. Already माता थोड़ा चर्चा टीच करें हम दे what is handbook, employee handbook. पूरा handbook चले handbook simply stated दा यो किताब चला. It is a booklet. It is a book. सही हुआ. It is a diary. And this diary clear has the information, all the contents relevant to the organization. मतलब देखिए organization mission, vision, planning ने उन्हीं सा सही हुआ और work scheduling पूरे even चित्ता सो पक्कम बरे ज़माने रोस्ती दा और पक्कम बरे ज़माने बता सो for example कम your dress अच्छा वही पक्कम your meeting की पक्कम your dressy meeting बकम जी सही हुआ ताप supervisor सोक दे rules, regulation, discipline, each and everything is explained in this kitabcha, and that kitabcha is known as employee handbook. Simply stated, we can say employee handbook is a guideline that how to appropriately give your performance clear in the organization. That is simply a guideline, employee guideline deta way. Help employees learn about the company. As I told you, chidda kama kitabcha da employee la help or kai employee must know about the company. As I told you that it contains clear about the mission, vision, planning, strategies, upcoming projects, clear about the organization. Then this handbook provides or central information sources concerning policies, work rules and benefit. देखिए the organization tool a policy like for example hiring policies, terminating policies, for example promotion policies, work rules, sexual standards and toll benefits, perks वगैरह sexual चिता तब compensation संग मिलावेगी, the each and everything toll information पके provided helps ensure that HRM policies will be fair, equitable and consistently applied. Common होने खबर है, simply stated. Now it also creates sense of security and commitment. It also creates sense of security and commitment. The reason that employee satisfaction work, employee clear picture work, so which basically leads to the employee security, job security and employee commitment toward the organization. It also can be used to provide information to new recruiters. Whatever the new recruits come to the organization, new recruits mean the youngistan. Is it the fresh blood? When fresh blood, the new people come to the organization, by the organization, that is known as recruits. So it provides clear, a well explained guidelines, a pattern of follow track clear to the new incumbent to the organization, and must be seen as useful, concise, well organized and must be continually updated. Da chikama kitabcha da handbook chikam de da chide har takriban yonim ya dwa kaalo pas chikam de aga update kigi, means new information is basically provided clear into this handbook. Now communication, another source chikam de, that is technology. Communication de para better communication de para organization technology hum provide के technology के network communication de, like for example email, instant messaging, voice sexual messages and talking internet, मतलब चिकम तासो सारा live calls वगैरह दी देना अलावा wireless communication like microwave signals, satellites, radio waves, radio antennas and infrared light rays etc. different technology ना इस्तेफादा की देशी देना अलावा communication के the next thing is complaint procedure, which is very important. उस complaint your employee he or she is facing clear a complaint अगर तो for example complaint complaint procedure भी सी ज़रूरी ना था कि they must have to follow these 4 steps. तो complaint procedure चिकम दे अगर different organization के different दे, लेकिन book ना मिदारा खास से दे चुकोरा if employee is feeling any type of complaint, no employee चेचू की employee भी supervisor ला complaint होगी या sometime employee चेदे अगर employee relation officer तक complaint होगी और sometime employee चेदे अगर departmental head तक complaint होगी and sometime employee चेदे अगर direct president तक complaint होगी. These are the different methods. लेकिन mostly commonly गोरा if organization चेदे overcoat है दे no employee direct चेदे अगर departmental head ला complaint कवले ची. Like for example if I have complaint doesn't mean the शिकायत. If I have a feedback, if I for example I have a suggestion, if I have some problems, if I have a hindrance, so definitely being as an employee I can definitely reach to the departmental head. Like as माता सब मसला दा तो directly departmental head चिकम दे आया से या departmental dean चिकम दे faculty dean चिकम दे अब्दुल्ला से directly consult कवले शम. No most in जमुंग organization के चिकम level डेर short दे सही हुआ अगोई size डेर overcoat दे alta we mostly use this pattern. Employee directly deal with the department. लेकिन mostly कम च constructions दाखदी या चत्ता labor unions the alta employee definitely deal with the first supervisor, then supervisor will lead to the public relation and the public relation to the head of the department या dean या direct GM MD or president. No da हम यो pattern की देशी. So pattern of complaints या complaint procedure clear that basically vary from department to department or organization to organization. Da हम basically यो communication facility the communication right the employee दे पारा. So how we can furtherly facilitate our employees. Now why companies support suggestion programs? What a suggestion program simply means feedback system. So what an organization feedback system, feedback was told to pata rai from the employee side. Data munga simply way of feedback. No, I have value feedback importance working value work company. Number 1, allow employees to tell management what they perceive they are doing right or wrong. Simply stated, connected to another management system such as continuous improvement processes, and suggestion must be acknowledged and employees recognized for their effort. That was the last slide, is it? And I think these are the very simple points. Explanation ज़रूरत नष्ट है. So this was the end of the lecture and hope inshallah ideas will be clear to you. डियर स्टूडेंट्स लगे कोशिश कोमा چې انګلیش پلس پښتو دواړه کې زه تاسو له کلیر کما بیکاز انیشلی when I uploaded my first lecture نو ډیر سټوډنټانو په دې باندې ماته ریکویسټ وکړو چې سر جی مکمل لیکچر چې کوم دی هغه مونږه انګلیش کې مطلب نشو سمری اخسته تو کوشش کوي چې انګلیش پلس پښتو نو therefore I shall try my level best to clear that 50% my lecture will be in English and 50% my lecture will be in Pashto. کانسیپٹ څه دی کانسیپٹ صرف دا دی چې تاسو صرف او صرف زده کړه وکړئ باقي بکس شته دی انټرنیټ شته دی ډیفینیټلی یو کین ګیټ هیلپ کلیر فرام د ډیفرنٹ سورسز لیکن لیکچر اصل مراد دا دی چې صرف تاسو لا ویو آیډیا پکچر کلیر شي ایدر ان انګلیش ایدر ان پښتو ډزنټ میټر لیکن زما هدف صرف دا دی چې تاسو ته آیډیا کلیر شي سو ان شاء الله د کوشش دا کوم چې همیشه لیکچر چې کوم دی هغه اپروپریټ کنسایز او ایگزامپل سره تاسو ته تشریح کوم چې تاسو پرې د کانسیپټ چې کوم دی دا بالکل واضح شي ثانک یو سو مچ